Hello, everybody, and welcome to more BTS Europe Series 3. We've got Team Empire versus Burden United. I'm Llama Down Under, joined by PQMZ. How you doing? And it would help if I had my mic open so that he knew I was speaking. Yep, that is...
Team Empire's turn to
There we
pick.
go, PQ. How you doing?
I'm hyped. I haven't got to see Empire play too much since all the roster shenanigans, so I'm excited to see how they've been doing.
I'm... I'm interested in this match for a couple of reasons. Firstly, we had a bit of a late start because Burden had asked... They had thought the match was postponed for till 5 days from now. So hopefully they're in good form. I'm a little bit worried. Slavy is standing in for them. I don't think that's the normal guy. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure it's not. But for Team Empires, you said FN is their new mid player. They've had him on a. I've seen him on the farming, the one position before, but generally he seems to play the mid overwhelmingly. So I'm pretty dang interested to see how this one matches up since Empire. They've been in a bit of a slump recently.
Yeah, I think they've been on the worst end of most of the shuffles, but that's all subjective.
Empire's turn to pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And that,
pretty rough, right? Normally you're having your players stolen by Navi. And now, yeah, you got this going on. Swift Ending is normally the carry. That's for Burden United. That's who I couldn't remember the name of instead
yeah,
of
I knew it
Slavy.
wasn't Slavy,
Yeah, I
but
was like, I can't remember your name, mate.
yeah, they've had like quite a few switch ups on Burden as well, so both
10
these rosters
seconds
have
remaining.
got their kinks in them that need to be worked out.
5 seconds.
Yeah,
remaining.
I think coming in, most people would expect Empire to be the stronger team, but anything can happen. It's a best of three. We'll see what we've got ahead of us. We've got picks and bans flying out. Interestingly, Oracle banned out over Earth Spirit, which means that bad boy is in. Empire snag themselves the Invoker and Venge. Despite having no resolution, FN plays Invoker quite a lot. And Burton go with Bane.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I favor Burden's opening personally, just because
5 seconds remaining.
you're not locked into anything. You can still pick around the Invoker. You can still do a plethora of things, and they're both extremely strong heroes.
Team
Not to say
Empire's
Invoker and
turn
Venge
to
aren't,
ban.
but it's just leaving them with a few more openings, a few more options.
Yeah, for Burden, obviously Earth Spirit is still super powerful. A lot of teams haven't found a great response to the Earth
10
Spirit,
seconds remaining.
except massively outplay your opponents. For Empire, do you think they need to
5
pick up
seconds
something to
remaining.
deal with that, or can you just try for the good old control the lane so Invoker never has to be out of position?
Reserve time.
You want one support that can move around to kind of either mimic his movements and save your core, or do the opposite and make him move to save his core. That's kind of how most teams have been playing around it. Like, if Venge's sitting around mid, then Earthspirit doesn't ever feel comfortable going on the Invoker, but then he can fall back to stacking, he can go gank another lane, and it's all kind of mirror movements. That's a really hard game to play, so... The few games I've seen of Burden, though, they've played a really good Earth Spirit. And the movements around the map have been good, they've made things happen that I feel like a
Radiant
few other
team
teams
ban.
wouldn't have, so... I'll see how Empire deal with it. It's not a direct science. Lots of teams have different preferences. While the hero has been like heavily nerfed, he's still just a complete
You were
Radiant
cutting in and out,
team
Tinel.
pick.
You said he's still such a complete what?
nuisance.
Ah, yeah. Couldn't get themselves Nature's Prophet.
Team
Pretty
Empire's turn
common
to pick.
pickup for them. It's also really popular right now. And this gets really scary for Team Empire, right? Because you have to worry about the constant threat of the Earth Spirit, and then also Nature's Prophet can TP in anywhere and cause a lot of problems.
And they've got a lot of setup right now. And if your Earth Spirit is dragging supports around the
Radiant
lanes,
team
then the
pick.
Nature's Prophet's going to have an even better time at contesting whatever Empire's carry is in the lane. So I think Burden is setting themselves up pretty well right now. They could even do like some gimmicky shit where the Prophet goes safe lane, they go for like some aggressive dual lane. They still have a lot of options open.
Yeah, And I think
Empire's
Bowden's
turn
lineup
to
right now
pick.
is just really solid all around. They pick up the gyrocopter. It feels like also a little bit of a deny pick so that their opponents don't manage to get something to so easily clear the Nature's Prophet. Their mid is still nice and hidden. We've seen greater success from teams that pick up supports earlier than cores. And for Empire, sure, they get that powerful Venge Batrider combo. There should be a lot of setup for Sunstrikes, but just Bowden's lineup looks very solid.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, right now it just kind of looks like Empire are gonna have to
5 seconds remaining.
play better to execute. Depends what they pick as their carry though.
Reserve
If they get
time.
something, they just win some in the late game, it then get some kind of deep push. They're in a lot of they have a lot of options for how they want to win the game and how they want to play it. Or they could just go for some really strong group up if they wanted the Venge as a carry. The Invoker can provide the minions, and then they've got the pick off through the Batrider and the Venge. Burden don't have the best deep push right now. They have Gyro to fight into you and the Nature's Prophet all every 2 minutes or so, but ports are fairly useless when it comes to deep pushing. And if you can just cancel the Fiend script, Bane isn't great in a fight in like the very early stages until he gets a few items though.
I'm also really interested to see if Empire go for the Sven or the Juggernaut, just kind of those standard, gonna help with some of the wave clear, another solid all around carry. And yeah, it's the Sven. This is the start of a push lineup. We've seen this before. Team Spirit ran it a lot in a successful run through the Shanghai Major qualifiers. You just pick someone off before the fight starts with the Batrider, or before the push starts, and then there isn't a fight because you have the overwhelming numbers. You have the Venge aura on a God Strength Sven who's pounding away at your tower. Really nice.
Yeah, some pretty simple ideas, and I like the Sven against Gyro
10
because
seconds
generally your
remaining.
cores and your minions or summons are fairly squishy to the
5
flak.
seconds
Suddenly,
remaining.
how much armor is it? It's like
Goes up to plus
20 armor.
20. Yeah.
That's a lot of
Radiant
mitigation for
team
the
pick.
Gyro. So instead of him coming into a fight with Phaser Kilo Drum at 15 minutes and hitting for 100 on all of your heroes, he's hitting for like 60 or something instead. And that really makes a difference.
Yeah, it's really nice here. Both of these drafts just pretty all around solid. We're not seeing any, we see a lot of drafts these days because it does work where teams go all in on the early push, and both of these seem just good. Team fight, I'm excited. The lanes, I'm a little bit still in favor of Burden, but Empire, if they decide to run an aggro try, that could be the way you keep the Earth Spirit down. Because the Earth Spirit will be forced to help out, or there'll be constant rotations as the Gyrocopter tries to find a lane that isn't awful, because laning into Venge Sven is terrifying.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and they still have the last hero to pick up, so this is
5
gonna dictate
seconds
how they want to
remaining.
do the laning, I think. Right now, as you said, they've got a few options, but this
Reserve
game
time.
could just end up to be like musical chairs, where
10 seconds
the Earth
remaining.
Spirits or the Bane are moving around setting up for the Prophet, and the Venge is going to have
5
to mimic
seconds
that. The Sven
remaining.
might get shut down a tiny bit because his supports are moving around elsewhere, and Prophet's actually fairly good at denying farm. Variants hit so bloody hard these days.
And it's
But I
a
really
Night
like the Night
Stalker.
Stalker.
It is
Pretty much exactly what I was saying earlier, where he can do what the Earth Spirit does, and they can kind of mimic each other's movements, and it's also insanely good against Prophet and the Quap. Makes them go for items they otherwise wouldn't want to go for, just so they can get away from you. He has so much kill potential with just Invoker from the global, presuming he is Exort. I presume he will be. I don't see many people go away from that these days in a professional game.
Yeah, I am. Well, on the Exort, also there's excellent setup here for it. I mean, I think to me that's the real question of whether he'll go. First of all, as you said, no cross wax. It's like it's not popular anymore. But the Exort, it
Same.
seems, has a lot of good setup with Avenge, with a Batrider. There's some easy kills you can get here. Now the Night Stalker, do you have him run in the lane with Aloha Dance and Gorach, or do you try to put Funnick offlane duel with the Batrider until minute 4?
There's options for both. It really just depends what they feel they need to be doing, and they can get some vision out to see where the Earth Spirit's moving around. That's going to be the big thing, because Invoker Quap is one of those matchups where Invoker will do fine in the lane. Quap can't really assert any dominance she might get through superior CSing for the first few minutes because of how strong Cold Snap and Force Spirits are. But if the Earth Spirit's there harassing him from level 1, suddenly Quap can start asserting her dominance because she's a level ahead. She's got Bottle and Boots when Invoker only has Bottle, and that's probably the biggest focus for Night Stalker will have to do at the start. But it looks like he's gone for the Iron Talon build, so he might just start jungling and being slightly greedy to and then he can just play like a jungler and move to the lane whenever our spirit's there if they can get some kind of vision anywhere on these ramps.
We've seen this before where the support, I mean, the most popular was Trient does this a lot, where he just picks up an Iron Talon and he jungles. I do wonder about how their lanes will suffer if Funnick spends a lot of time in the jungle, but he may pop out to lane, get some experience, do the hard camp, pop back in, and they're actually already pinging out that hard camp. I think Bane indicating that they might want to block it up to make sure that the Batrider, if he does leave the lane, has to go all the way to the jungle.
I think the big thing with the Night Stalker doing this is he's not going to be zoning the Prophet, but it's like when you know he's there, you play a lot more back and you don't put yourself in a position to ever really get gone on. Whereas if he's suddenly coming out of the jungle for 10 seconds and you're not expecting it, you can actually get caught out just by, you know, kind of forgetting he's there. And it lets Funnick get his farm up, get his levels, and help his team more like that.
Now, Evan's done something really interesting mid. He dropped a happy little tree, he ate the tango, and oh, actually we're gonna have a roll in onto Havost. Goodbye, this'll be our first blood. They get it on the Batrider. A nice rotation by LeBron Dota.
Oh, let this nightmare never end.
That's actually not ideal because he doesn't even get like lane control from that death. Normally if you tank an early death, like the lane is pushing towards you because they've drawn creep aggro, but he has double archer, they're actually going on him again.
Yeah, the rocket barrage will be not that effective given how many creeps are around, but they just have the auto attack damage. Havost, he pops the firefly, but the brain sap too much, and he goes down again. In top, they're giving the Coon a little bit of trouble up here from the Venge, but yeah, Venge actually gonna take a beating from that one.
And that's pretty much just gonna screw Funnick over, and Boast is now gonna say, right, the jungle's mine, you go somewhere else. I need
really
to get my
rough
levels,
start.
I need to get my farm.
I
Yeah, like, the one death is understandable if you get something from it, but the second death is just kind of cemented the fact he's not going to be able to go to that lane anymore. And he's not going to even get the stack on this camp, I don't think, so...
Unfortunately,
Off to one of the worst starts.
it also feels like it impacts the rest of Empire's lineup, because now the Earth Spirit doesn't have to worry about going bottom.
Yeah, it's the same thing I was trying to say with the Prophet, but...
Oh, there's gonna be a denied creeps. No, Funnick's not taking that aggro. The roll in did miss, so Earth Spirit just gonna take the big troll. Back on out.
LeBron's getting some work done this game. Funnick's even going to go for the value deny.
We have a Nightmare in mid. The Earth Spirit is coming around. He toggles it off with the Forge Spirit. FN, though, he is dangerously close. Quap, she does have a blink here. She goes for it. The Sunstrike, they're going to share it. So everybody's fine. And another kill with this Earth Spirit involvement. Bowden United coming out, kicking.
He was even holding a skill point there, but didn't think the Ghost Walk would save him. So that's kind of a big deal because he was been on CS. I think he was like winning for a while and then the clock caught up. But as I said earlier, any advantage you give Quap in this lane, it snowballs like very hard. If she gets 6 when the Invoker's only 5, then it's so easy for her to just get a kill.
Yep, and they get a kill on Havost again on the bottom lane. He was getting some farm with the Bane having rotated off the lane, but comes back in, one Nightmare into Rocket Barrage, and there's not much a Batrider can do.
Empire is just bleeding right now in like every lane. Ben's farming decently. He's like on a par with the Gyro, but the Gyro's just got the kill involvement.
Oh, and now the Venge going to fall, one more auto attack. Nothing Aloha Dance can do there. We have seen this before, as you mentioned though, where Empire's behind in the Ola game. This is something actually similar that happened when they played up against Mango. They had a bit of trouble. They managed to make sure Aloha Dance was having uncontested farm, and they did win off the back of that. But I mean, LeBron already level 3, having a blast, killing people.
Yeah, he's setting the tempo of this game brilliantly. He's been in every lane. He's been involved in all but one of the kills.
If you're Empire here, do you just try to keep getting farm on Aloha Dance, rotate, you know, the Batrider into the jungle in hopes that he doesn't die, or is there something else you can do?
I think you just... I like what Havost is doing now. He's going into the woods where it's less likely they'll catch him out, and if they do, he's probably creating a lot more space than if he's just dying in the lane. The Invoker's still getting his farm mid. He's not as farmed as he would like, but the one death really hurt him. And when you have a support taking your jungle, you can never fall back on it, so it naturally hurts your mid anyway. As long as they don't keep bleeding like excessively, you will come out of the laning stage with an advantage, but it shouldn't be too severe that Empire can't play from that disadvantage.
Now, it is the
As you said, Aloha's farming. He'll probably be able to carry this game with just some relevance from the Batrider and Invoker.
Oh, we've got another Nightmare up on Havost again. Oh, they have the cooldown this time, though. He's gonna take one of the hits, the Brain Sap as well. The second hit doesn't quite reach him, but the Flat Cannons sure do. And Havost falls again. Actually, just an auto attack there. I'm surprised the Gyro managed to reach that far, since he got 365 range.
He looked like he was out there, but yet again, just a tiny bit too deep.
How do you... I mean, obviously Batrider's having a hard time. Empire's supports... They do have a Night Stalker, it's nighttime, and as I say that, they pick up a smoke, and they're going for it. I'm not sure, it looks like they might be thinking of mid. They have a point up in Crippling Fear, already level 5, this Night Stalker.
This Earth Spirit's sitting here long enough to counter this gank, it's like completely ideal on his end.
We'll see. There's going to be a roll in, an aggressive blink forwards as well. The Cold Snap comes flying out. The rocket kicks on through Funnick, who hasn't been revealed yet. Sunstrike will be shared, but Kenya know very low. They get that kill. Will they even catch out F? And he gets denied. And now LeBron Dota in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down.
Alright, so that actually flips on its head, and instead of being him scouting or reading the smoke play, he's trying to go for the aggressive play, and it completely backfires. So at least Funnick, you know, he uses his levels, he actually comes out and becomes an asset to his team instead of just sitting in the woods.
Yeah, and Arias, I'm not quite sure why he was up top. I think they were going to attempt something on the Sven, but they catch out the Venge anyway and gets another kill to his name.
Still have the cooldown, but I think he's just going to go back to his own lane now. Unless this Night Stalker just walks into him.
Yeah,
That's questionable. Like, you knew the Gyro was there already. That's very greedy.
After Funnick did such a good job getting the gank in mid, he just gives it away, and I mean, it's actually even after that mid gank because of how much of a priority kill the Quap was.
Yeah, as I said, they're bleeding a lot, but it's by no means as bad as it could be, so I think the biggest thing is just going to be the fact that because Funnick was taking the woods, there's no stacks available for the bat, so his blink's going to be a lot further behind than it would. You could have like 8-12 minute blink somewhere around there. I think it's, unless he gets some kills, it's going to be a bit later than that. And that's going to give BU just a bit more freedom to use their gyro rotation into the safe lane like one more time maybe. They might not be able to capitalize on that blink being 1 or 2 minutes later, but it's a small window.
Arise has actually spent a lot of time off the lane, not farming, getting kills. He does have a lot of kill involvement, but you have to be careful here because the Sven is pulling ahead. Welcome to Sven. He foams faster, but we have an engagement onto Gorich again. He's going to go for the TP out. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. And nothing Aloha Dance can do. Rotated off the lane, but there's no hope.
BU are just, they have the vision in the right areas and they're constantly in the right place, right time.
Oh, but speaking of right place, right time, Kenyano gonna take a Sunstrike and goes down. Sorry, Kenyano. I'm misreading that. Oh.
Yeah, but Funnick's salvaging like really heavily right now with these ganks.
Also, because they do not have swift ending, their normal carry player, they have normally Arise plays mid. I just realized this, and Kenyano, I'm pretty sure is their support but because they have a stand-in, they've completely rotated up roles, and that makes this all the more impressive, I think, from Burden United.
And FN's blatantly like not watching his screen right now. He's too busy invoking and just walks into Fiend's Grip.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much he could have done about that unless he like instantly cold snapped and got his Forge Spirits out, but maybe they're not going to be able to get any return kill. So again, a good rotation from BU, getting a very important kill because this Invoker was definitely getting a bit further ahead.
Oh, they
would
have
like
5 of them converging onto Havost. He doesn't know it, but they're coming from all angles. No more Firefly here. He is going to go down, tries for the TP away. But there's no hope, and now Aloha Dawn's quickly realizing he needs to get the hell out of Dodge.
This is one, like, bent over a table Batrider. He's like fourth, sorry, not even fourth. He's like third from the bottom.
I mean, you were saying he's not going to have that nice 12-minute timing on a Blink Dagger. I'm impressed that he has Tranquils and 1,000 gold to his name
Yes,
with
so
5
am I,
deaths.
actually.
I don't know how Havost has that much form considering where he is in this game.
He does have 43 CS, and he's for a while he was like farming out the Radiant Woods and kind of doing the right thing, and then he just reverted back to trying to put pressure on lanes and getting a bit too greedy, and he got punished for it.
He
But
did.
he's made a lot of space this game, and Phoenix picking up the slack. He's pretty much, told Havost, no, I'm the real free player here. I'm the real offlaner. I'm just playing support because that's, where my team put me.
It's a trick now. They're trying to give it a go onto a Rise if they can get a lasso out, but how they get up and close to this Batrider without dying themselves. They do have Crippling Fear and the Void, of course.
I don't think this is a go without Flame Break. Push back into the lasso.
Oh, yeah,
Unless he
that's
goes really far away from the tower, then it's possible with this wave.
So Arise getting into position. They do have TPs on supports. The nighttime has been popped. Arise now knows it's coming. We've got immediate TP rotations. Arise will be silenced up. Batrider trying to get in position, but no, there's the Nightmare onto Funnick, and someone is receiving a cooldown. They don't even need it. Fiend's Grip into Rocket Barrage, and this is another easy push setup for them. There's going to be a roll in. They try to kick out to find Havost. Nature's Prophet still going for it. Oh, Quap. Okay, that was a little interesting interaction there.
Yeah, but suddenly that go from Empire turns into them losing one hero, them also losing their offlane tower. Aloha's trying to like pressure the other tower, but I don't think it's gonna mount to as much of a trade as what you just got, because they got the Night Stalker who was sitting at like 3.5k on the net worth, which was a lot higher up than like the Quaff was at the time.
Also, Aloha Dance, I think it's really important to mention, because of how well he's farming, Burden United really aren't ahead very far in net worth, and Empire's actually ahead in experience. I wouldn't be surprised if Empire, with just one big team fight, turned this all around. Right now, it does really feel like, yes, Havost is having a hard time, yes, the Invoker isn't doing as well as he might want to, but they certainly have a lineup that just can take one big team fight and win the game off the back of it. So we
Yeah, especially now Sven went for the blink.
Do you think that's their timing window, or do you wait also for FN to get up a Yule's or whatever he's looking for, since he has 2,000 gold saved up?
You want to use this blink because you went for it so early. It's not ideal because you don't have it coupled with the Batrider yet. He's 200 away, which, gotta be honest, is fairly impressive considering he has 5 deaths.
Yeah.
But as long as you have Sunstrike invoked on FN, you've probably got enough damage with any other hero that comes with the Sven. They're even getting the D-Ward on the Ancients that got blocked out, so they're going to be able to hopefully start stacking that again. Something BU need to be wary of though, because Sven is just one of those heroes that like catapults up from Ancients. Can't let him get these for free. But it is so hard to contest at the end of the day when there's a Night Stalker, there's a Batrider who, they're farming this area of the map. It's hard to walk past them without just, feeding.
Oh, they get another kill onto Batrider. He had just picked up his blink though, so that'll be flying out to him shortly. Good timing from the Quap, but just not quite good enough, and now here comes the rotation down. They have the blink on Aloha Dance. His God Strength just ended, so they might want to wait this kill out. Oh gosh, Funnick's gonna run right into one of them. Rocket Kick comes out, Rocket Barrage as well. He pops the Nighttime, but the rest of his team needs to leave.
Looks like it'll just be the one kill though. Vision from nighttime like completely saved the Venge there. Unless okay,
Yeah, he is very ungreedy coming out from Aloha Dance, who again is helping his team actually be in the positive net worth despite this game being 14-3. I think it's going to end up being one of those. Burden United have spent so much time getting good kills, but they haven't shut down Aloha Dance enough. We'll see whether they can take a fight, but a God Strength Sven is terrifying to play into.
mostly just like the stuns right now. I think BU aren't going to be able to handle that well.
Yeah.
Their cores are decently tanky though. Like the Earth Spirit, the Bane, they're both sitting around 1,000. The Quap's like the squishiest one of their entire team actually, which is quite funny.
And even though the EMP Tornado combo isn't quite there yet, as you said, the stun from Aloha Dance. Oh, okay, here we go. There's the lasso coming out. There's going to be a nice silence, but LeBron Dota already very low. He does have the cooldown. Fiend's Grip on Aloha Dance. They're getting that kill. And now, looking to clean up the rest of them. Gyrocopter still alive. FN is going down despite dropping a meatball. It is a 3-for-1. They stopped the Nature's Prophet from TPing away, but he's still not dead yet. Now Funnick in the danger zone. He goes down. They may have lost the Earth Spirit, but the rest of them all still standing on Burden United.
Yeah, and that's just a fight you can't take when you're clumping up 5 heroes in that kind of vicinity.
Dire's bottom tower
And
is under
it's
attack.
kind of impossible for them to ask Batrider to blink into those cores, especially when they've got Earth Spirit sat behind them and get hit them like far enough away when he just has a blink. That's gonna put BU in a very commanding position all of a sudden, because that's a fight they probably shouldn't have been given. You know, cooldowns was level 2, I think.
Yeah.
Pop ult, it's like, it's all so much damage that you just can't tank at this stage. That completely like negates Sven's blink as well, because they're not going to want to fight again.
And as you say, they don't want to fight again. They have caught out this Ven. She is going to fall. They do manage to get the D-Ward up, but this could set up... Oh no, Invoker caught out of position. Nightmare comes out. Quap uses that screen. They've got detection, Invoker. There is no easy escape here. More sentries dropped. FN goes down. Burden United, despite, you know, all the lobby troubles, they are out of the gate kicking.
And they're definitely not being burdens this game.
I just
Maybe to Empire, you know, they're dragging them down.
Now, I don't know...
Dire's middle tower is under
Oh,
attack.
okay, we're gonna be seeing a rotation up onto the Bane. Even if they lose the Bane here, this is still such a win for Burden United. Bane most likely... Oh no, there's TP rotations coming in. Gyrocopter at the ready, has cooldown in 3. Funnick going down again, can't get the deny to creeps. And now, Aloha Dance is pushing in that bottom lane, but the rest of the team on Empire have to be very careful. We have a lasso, they're trying to pull this Bane up to the high ground. Gonna be sitting there in the fire, trying to turn around and do something. Uses the Brain Sap. Now the Fiend's Grip onto Havos. They've got the cooldown swap coming out, but it's not enough. And now Goret's also gonna sacrifice Venge's life, going down. They do kill the Bane, but they lost 4 again now. 3, the Invoker died as well. Kind of another full team wipe, you can argue. Oh.
This is just not Empire's day.
I
They're just playing like so. It's hard to say anything like bad about it. It's just it's not quite all coming together. Like when the Sven went for the blink, they obviously want to go for these pickoffs and try to not let BU group up and do what they did in the mid lane, which just pretty much gave them complete control of the game. They got 2 towers, 2 very strong team fights, and their lead just catapulted up. It's 5k now, as it was been negative before that, you know.
it
No
was
matter how
even.
Yeah, no matter how close to 0 it was actually negative before that engagement.
LeBron Dota does go down to the God Strength on Sven. He has a TP at the ready, but he's done it too late. There's gonna be Nature's Prophet coming in. He goes for the TP, the Yules comes out, and now Aloha Dance has given up his life for an Earth Spirit. Not worth it.
That's just BU playing like really close knit this game, and they're not letting Empire go for the picks that they want. They're reading the fact Sven has a blink, Bat has a blink. It's daytime, so it's actually ideal for them to be grouping up and making things happen right now, and Empire just unfortunately playing into it.
I was really expecting Burden United to crumble. I mentioned it where Empire weren't necessarily that far behind despite the kill score, that one team fight could win it. Because we've seen Empire do this before. They take advantage of less experienced teams and pull out You know, they're behind, but they end up getting ahead. We're going to be seeing FN. Do they have a way to stop him from TPing out? Doesn't look like it, so he'll be fine there. At the same time, Bowden take the bottom tower. But this game, Bowden, as you said, they are on point with everything.
Yep, they get their tier 2, they call the split push, they're stealing some of the stack. Now this might be a tiny bit greedy, it looks like Empire want to punish this, but they're doing the right thing, they're backing away. They're just creating space and using it so well this game. Giving up very little as well. Like, this Bane has one death, it's mostly like the Quap and the Earth Spirit who are, you know, kind of the heroes that get in their face anyway.
Empire, they're obviously behind, not just on kill score now, also in net worth, but 5,000 is something one or two team fights can erase. Do you think they just need to play up in their base, take advantage of their excellent high ground defense?
Well, now they've got Sven BKB, they've got Nighttime, this is as good as it's going to get for the next few minutes. But
Do you
they're not
honestly
all
try to
grouped
take
up
a
right
team
now.
fight? Oh no, the Fiend's Grip is going to be coming out. Aloha Dance instead does manage to blink away. They are split all over the place, but Yules. This is going to be them setting up. Fiend's Grip. There's already an Aether Lens on this Bane, and Aloha Dance, BKB or no, falls again. In the backlines, though, they do manage to pick up the Earth Spirit. Nature's Prophet taking quite a bit of damage here. He's trying to do it out to them as well with that Maelstrom. He will not get the Sprout. Funnick, though, runs right into a Rise. What a TP. Havost is there, though. And now Nature's Prophet going in for the TP. Can he land another Sprout? Quap still there. Sonic Wave hits him in the long range. And it looks like they will not continue to chase Havost.
To go to your comment before that started, they do not take like a 5-on-5 fight. They take a very chaotic split fight where maybe PU are all in and around the same area, but one hero gets caught off, and then they try and fight with the 4 into the 5 that Empire have, and they use their vision, they use their spells to where they're strong, but they're not allowed to do that this game because PU is just not giving them the chance.
PU is having such tempo control. They don't even have great vision or anything, but they have complete control of this map and of the game, it feels like. They're going to need to make a huge uphill mistake for there to be any hope for Empire. Havost unable to blink in and snatch the Aegis.
Yeah, it's just good heads-up play from the Quap going for the Yules, making sure that there's no just steal. That was like something I feel Empire would go for there. They're like 100%. They know they're kind of having the game slip away from them. They don't want to give a Rise in Aegis, so you can just plink at your tier 3 for minute on minute, waiting for creep waves and waiting for it to go down, because you know that you can't fight straight into them. Despite the fact this Invoker has a blink and Ags, you are like halfway to your Ags on the Night Stalker. It's just not enough at this stage. Then pretty much needs 2 more items, because his BKB is not doing that much unless the Bane doesn't grip him, and even then, it's not giving him like the damage to finish kills off. It's just giving him the ability to, you know, finally land a stun and not be irrelevant in team fights.
We haven't
Same
touched...
for his blink.
We haven't touched on it too much, but as you said, there is going to be an Aghanims out for the Invoker. The BKB, it still hasn't been used yet by the Sven, so this is 10 seconds. If he's not the Fiend's Grip target, they may have some trouble. But other than that, the item progressions coming out of Empire, sure, the Night Stalker's halfway to an Ags, but I'm worried they won't have tier 3s by the time that comes out.
I think the tier 2 will definitely be down by the time, but they have all chance of holding the high ground, just because Batrider and Invoker are so hard to push into. And he's finally got his force on the Batrider now, so they've finally got a way of getting that lasso target more out of position.
Yeah,
And if they aren't quick on the Yules or the kick, then the Batrider's not got the hardest time of jumping in.
a serious problem, as you mentioned. Empire, you know, you lasso someone and then what? This tier 2, they will not contest it from Empire, so taking a good fight there. We can see they're stemming the bleeding, right? Even though, Bowden, you've got a big net worth exchange off of the back of that one disastrous team fight for Empire, they haven't really lost more gold since. So all the more power to Empire, only still 5,000 net worth behind. There is a TP coming in, I imagine this will be cancelled, yep. And Bowden continue their push.
Casual TP bait, right?
It didn't bait out anything too large, though.
No, it's just a remnant, which is it's kind of weird they'd even go for that, but regardless, now they're having to draw back and go for the defense. And the entire reason that BU haven't catapulted any further ahead is they're staying as 5 heroes. they're not getting the chance, giving the chance to Empire
Radiant's
to
middle tower
get the
is under
pickoffs that
attack.
they kind of need to get back in the game.
All that said, they have got this tower down to half health. They still have the Aegis for a healthy 2 minutes. Burden United have a great window to do something, but as I say that, Nature's Prophet, okay, never mind, just the Nature's Prophet, they are backing out a little bit. I'm not sure if they're trying to fake out the engagement. They do not have a ward here for Bowden, so they're doing a lot of this blind, but oh goodness, they have one right there. The call down onto Goret's Venge. Nice. Oh, that was actually a mistake coming out from the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, that's a welcome pat on the back from LeBron for a change. But it is only a Venge kill, so it's not the biggest kill, but it would have definitely gave them a lot more confidence to go high ground. They're definitely going to want to wait for their ults to come back up, because, you know, cooldown, it's fairly short, but you always want it up when you go for these fights, just in case you get, like, lassoed to the tier 4s and you have to do something to let your team get in range.
Now, on the other hand, there is no nighttime for a while now. That Night Stalker has used his ult. Arise taking some damage here. Actually, quite a bit from Forge creeps, because that's what they do. The tower down to 450 health. And here we go. The cooldown is up. There's no... Do we not have an urn on the Radiant side? No urn.
No charges.
No charges, okay. Yeah, and they actually are stopping the push. They still have, I think, a minute on that Aegis. They decide to back on out.
It's still at a stage where, despite the fact that Jaro is really strong in the fights, he's not quite tier 3 hitting yet. He's got his BKB coming out, and by the time this Aegis expires, that will take the slot. Then the fights are still going to be just as hard on Empire's end. You're not going to be able to kill this Jaro who's got a BKB unless you get the lasso on him and his team has no response at all.
Now, for Empire, this is some welcome relief. They'll be able to keep up their farming, as you talked about. They are losing their lead on Bowden because they are constantly grouped up, but they're still in an excellent place to fight. Aloha Dance has picked up the Chrysalis, though, so some lucky crits, he might blow this thing wide open.
He's also got the Alpha Wolf, so maximum efficiency is out. All this Aegis
Oh,
is in
shit!
downtime.
Oh, my apologies, folks, for swearing. Aloha Dance blows his 10-second BKB accidentally in the woods. I'm pretty sure he meant to blink.
Unfortunate. That is most unfortunate.
There is no vision, though. Bowden United
It's
don't
not
know
the
about
biggest
this.
deal, but it's something that just puts you on tilt.
On the upside, Bowden United didn't see it. They're not going to take advantage of this cooldown. Havos still hasn't been punished for getting a lot of farm up in the bottom lane. Do you try to go for an Aether Lens here? What do you do here? Is it... Oh, goodness. You try not to die first of all for Havost, but after that, what's the play?
I could see BKB over Aetherlands just because I've said before the Yules for Kick are both
Radiant's top
extremely
tower
annoying
is
for him to
under
deal
attack.
with, despite having the Force. Aetherlands is a much cheaper version of something, though.
We have a Fiend script on FN. It's going to be almost max duration. They need to get somebody else in here, but the blink forwards by the Bane, the Nightmare up. FN has been set up for disaster. They're going to get this kill. Sonic Wave, just in case the cooldown wouldn't be enough damage. And Quap isn't done yet. She gets the Yules up onto the Venge. Goret's going to be forced off to safety, but they've lost a decent part of their high ground defense. Aloha Dance is pounding on the bottom lane. Arai's going to come home for that one. He has no Aegis anymore. Can they catch out Aloha Dance? Flat Cannon's disabling the blink. He just goes for the BKB TP. They don't have a way to stop this, so he'll be out.
That's now an 8-second BKB, and they're slowly whittling these charges down. So, despite the fact that he is a superior man-fighting hero, he's kiteable when his BKB is on 5 seconds.
Oh, the lasso's going to be used just for the Bane, and the rest of Bowden United were coming in on the sidelines there. Can they get anything done? Nature's Prophet comes in,
What a
Sprout
block.
not quite off them on the mark, but it does block Funnick. They're having a lot of trouble catching him in this nighttime. There's going to be the swap from Goretz, and most likely she's given her life for his. Still a good deal. Funnick, though, coming back in. Aloha Dance. Can he get the crits? The immediate Yules up from the quad. They're going to kite this Sven, and now Aloha Dance full Rocket Barrage gets a crit, but it's not enough. Arise does pop the BKB. Funnick on the sidelines. There is still a Quap chasing after him. He is probably going to go down. Beautiful rock kick boulder toss. Kick. My apologies. And
What a
3 down.
smash.
Is it it's not Boulder Smash. That's
Yes,
Pokemon.
it is.
Is it Boulder Smash?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it is!
And no, that's Rock Smash, not Boulder Smash.
Close
Please,
enough.
Llama.
That's how they translated
No,
it in
not
Australia.
close enough.
That's how they translated it in Australia. That's what I'm going with. Either way,
Bullshit.
this is this is the perfect setup for the push coming out from Bowden United. They just got rid of so many core heroes. The BKB was used. They're gonna pull back and relax some, but again, just these favorable engagements from Bowden.
Yeah, they're kind of peaking right now, and it's showing in these fights that the Sven's just not quite there yet. He's not getting the chance to latch on any of his targets because the rest of the heroes from Empire are just not quite relevant enough yet, and maybe when Invoker gets to the point where he's got a BKB and he feels comfortable actually getting into a fight to cast a few spells, that's suddenly gonna mean there's an Ice Wall down, which means Sven's suddenly actually able to hit one target, and then that target is going to die. And the game's going to be getting slightly harder on BU's side. But they've got a window where Aegis is available for them. They should be able to take the fight as long as someone on Empire is dead or they have just superior map vision. It is practically impossible now that there's a Axe out on the Night Stalker and there's a Bat Rider, but they can manage to get a gem, deward the area, and maybe get a pick off like they're getting on the Venge now.
Yeah, Venge probably going down here again. She luckily isn't carrying anything too important. Again, it's just the Venge, but this might set them up for Roshan. The pit fight is scary now coming out of Empire, though.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's why you'd want a pick. I don't think Venge is the pick, but it might be enough to dissuade Empire from going for it, because Aloha Dance does not want to buy out if they lose the fight at the pit. And Invoker does not want to buy out. He wants to be able to get his next item, whatever it is. Personally, I would suggest BKB, but I know a lot of Invoker players go other routes.
Yeah, something else that I was wondering here is about the Mjolnir now up on the Nature's Prophet as opposed to the Aghanim Scepter. They aren't quite getting split push on Bowden United, but it's always a fear with an Invoker, with a Sven. And I'm a little surprised this okay. Bat Rider gets caught out here as I'm watching the Roche fall. And Havos down. How do you feel about this Mjolnir? Oh, okay, never mind. We don't get to talk because there's going to be a Sunstrike. Still doesn't manage to kill more. Fiend's Grip on Aloha Dawn's cooldown coming in. He is BKB'd up, but only for another second, and that is the problem with using those charges. A nice meteor will come out. Arise doesn't care. LeBron does walk on through it, so he will burn to death. Quap coming forward. They don't have detection between the two of them. And that'll be it for the engagement.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, and that was just Sven not quite being big enough there. And I also think Invoker going for the Tornado kind of screwed him because he wasn't hitting anything, he wasn't life-stealing. And the target he Tornado was dead anyway. So a bit of miscommunication, but it's still an Aegis for BU. It's on a rise. He might look to finish up an item, whether it's just getting a Talisman of Evasion over as Aquila or maybe even a full Butterfly before they use this Aegis. But if they want to go, they definitely can. Go back to your Mjolnir point, I really like the idea because he went for the drums mech as a starter, which made his teamfight like really, really strong, but he wanted to go back for some way to get some farming potential, scale the game. If you're getting lassoed by a Bat Rider, you're sitting in Firefly, Forge Spirits are hitting you. There's a lot of instances of damage that, okay, they're controllable for the most part, but it's annoying to deal with. And if you just Mjolnir the Gyro, who's in the middle of that shit, it's a lot of extra damage that Empire aren't able to deal with.
Yeah,
heaven forbid it like cancels a Blink Dagger off a long range bounce.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Now, we are going to see Funnick trying to get work done. He has a gem now, so he really can't lose his life. As you said, finished up that Ags. They're going to stun out on Arise. He still has a good amount of time left on this Aegis. They're going to take out the tower. This may just be ranged racks, but they haven't quite committed for it. Ironically, the Invoker is actually still way outside of the base. He's not ready to teamfight. A stun coming out on Arise again. A Yule's up onto Bat Rider. Havost going to be zoned up. Finally, FN is back. A nice Meteor coming out. EMP getting rid of a lot lot of mana there. They're poking away at the range Rex. The long range kill onto the Bat Rider. KNO may have overextended for this one though. Stormhammer comes out. They need something to kite. Aloha Dance the trees, almost doing it. Fiend's Grip. KNO still taking a lot of damage here. Can she get the blink away on the Quap? Doesn't even matter. Aloha Dance completely caught out. This may just be it for game one. The buyback comes out from the Sven, and we're going to be seeing them get the kill there anyway. Arise still hasn't managed to take the racks. Sven able to come back on in. The Earth Spirit has fallen, and now they do get it with the Nature's Prophet. Just the melee though. There's a lot of split push potential on this lineup. And Arise, he still has the Aegis, so he might just think about finishing it off, but the rest of his team backing out. They want to play it safe.
They've still got enough time on this Aegis to potentially go again.
And even
One
if
of
they
those
don't,
where-
Nature's Prophet. Oh, a nice EMP tornado into the Meatball. Arise throws down the cooldown. The Bane not going to get out. And that's an Aegis. He is respawning in a terrible spot. No one around to help him. I believe the BKB on cooldown, and Arise will finally fall. Huge kill for this Invoker.
That pick-off just paid so much into the pocket. He just bought the Octarine core. He had no buyback. If he died, his game was pretty much over. But now he's got 2k sitting in the bank. They're going to be able to push out these lanes, get some form of map control. They've got the gem up on Night Stalker. They can get rid of any and all vision, which is actually none at the moment because they're just pushing and they haven't really needed it. Side, but this is where Empire turned the game suddenly. That was BU's timing where they got the second Aegis. Gyro managed to get some items, and everyone was kind of coming to a peak. They had the Hex, I think, for that fight. I could be wrong on that. See if the Prophet had the Hex when they went for that.
I'm not sure that they did, but it's hard to tell because he doesn't have very much gold right now, so I assume he just bought it out. But
yeah, might be my assumption actually instead that he just got it and it was post-fight, which is unfortunate. But now it's going to come down to BU no longer trying to go for the 5-man group up down a lane. They're going to have to play the split push game that Empire wants to play right now, and they're going to really have to do a fucking damn good job because they're against like superior vision, superior spells at doing this job.
this is also the Daedalus comes out on Aloha Dance. They stunted his growth, forcing the buyback, but whether it's good enough, we'll see. And we've talked about this. Empire, they just need to take a few good team fights. Aloha Dance, a Sven in general, terrifying. Your buildings melt. Now, Bowden United, I certainly don't think they're out of it yet, but their game just got a lot harder. And, 7.5k gold lead, down to 5k. Experience is nil.
The experience is so irrelevant at this point. The bench would definitely like to hit level 11. Or, get an Aether Lens or an item that isn't boots, wards, or a wand. Because, he's definitely the 6th position this game.
Yeah. When both your Bat Rider and your
play
Night Stalker are playing carry, it's rough. Yeah, the gem was brought up by the Night Stalker. They're going in for the push on Bowden United, but Empire with a Sven, I think they're fine being 1 racks down.
It's not even an important rax. So, split push from the Invoker now is either going to draw them back or it's going to continue going to the base. And I would honestly favor Empire in a fight right now, just because it's nighttime. Invoker has all his spell kit up.
They're gonna go in. Arise very far forwards, Invoker with the blink away. They have to be careful. Swap. Oh, she does hit level 11, so that thing's gonna get longer range. And they back on out on Bowden United. With great haste. Oh, they're trying to get the pick off on the backlines onto the Night Stalker. Cooldown is expended for that. There's a Lotus Ult coming up. It's Sonic Wave. Havost blown up. Lasso. Oh no. Can Sven do this? There's a Fiend's Grip coming out on the sidelines. They're also trying to deal with the Invoker. Aloha Dance caught in the trees. Pops his BKB. Finally going around. That crit coming out. Arise taking a lot of damage. He has to back on out. He goes back in though. And he has to be very careful. He has no BKB. The rest of his team still working to catch up. The Sunstrike not going to hit the Sven. Thrown up in the air before he can throw out a Stormhammer. But on the back lines, they've gotten it with FN. And now Aloha Dance turned into a piggy, but the stun on Nature's Prophet. Tornado gonna get that kill, and now the Quap in a bad spot. A 4 for 2 for Empire. Oh gosh, they're still going on to KNO. Where is the crit? By a crit, Aloha Dance. He can't get it.
That fight was like, It looked so horrible when Funnick just was out of position, gets picked off, and then pretty much just the Invoker spells turn it. And they also didn't kill the Sven in the grip. He was gripped for a while, but managed to actually get a lot of right clicks off towards the end of the fight.
It looked
And
like
as
half
much
of
as
the
you're highlighting Sven, like, it's the Invoker that's really doing the heavy lifting in these fights.
It did look like in that team fight, half of the team went for killing off the Sven, because obviously he has a lot of damage, and the other half went for killing off Invoker, and they didn't get either.
At this point, they're just coming into their own. I'm actually kind of surprised you went for a Linken's on the Invoker over something like the Hex, but it's just going to give them more ability to split push, be more elusive, and scale better as the game goes on. So he is kind of like nearly 6 slotted. One more item after the Midas and then level 2 bots, and he's pretty much done. Ben's still got a lot of room to grow though.
I think they were doing a good job on Empire of recognizing that the Bane, while there's a lot of stuff in that toolkit with both a Lincoln Sphere and the Lotus Orb up on the Night Stalker, they can really get rid of any sort of lockdown for the Invoker or the Sven, potentially, right? Because Bane can't do anything to you when you're Lotus Orbed. Otherwise, Bane's gonna have a bad time. But we'll see. They're going in for this Aegis again for Bowden United. They have to make something happen. They still do always have the split push of the Nature's Prophet, but the game is harder. At the same time, Empire, they know about this and they're ready to rumble.
And this is not a place where you want to take a fight. It's nigh impossible to fight into Night Stalker Ags around the Roche pit.
Oh, I really like this play. They're going for the wraparound. Unfortunately, Empire are probably going to take this Aegis way too fast. The wraparound is going to take them far too long. Aegis goes down. Bowden should realize that they've made a little bit of a mistake here. Arias breaks his smoke to show himself up. Havosta's just going to come in and grab him if he's not careful. A rock kick out. Aloha Dance does have that God Strength Sonic Wave blowing up Gorge, but that's not the hero you need to kill. There's going to be a nice tornado again, and there is no Fiend's Grip here. Also, the Nature's Prophet has gone down. What can they do? Arias trying to stand and fight, but he doesn't stand up to these heroes. Quap, 600 quick crit, bringing her down, and Arias now trying to hide for his life, but there is no escape here. He is most likely going to fall. No mana for the Stormhammer at the very least, but still, they're going to catch him out, and he goes down.
And this is like where BU have just completely fallen off.
Yeah, they
Suddenly
missed their window.
They just don't have a way to take these fights because their initiation is Quap blinking in and using Earth Spirit going for a kick. Nature's Prophet doesn't really want to TP into the middle of the fight. He doesn't have any form of mobility except his TP, and Bane's definitely not initiating with like a blink sleep. So for them to take these fights on favorable terms, it's on Empire screwing up at this point. It's not on anything that BU can control.
Is there any other way they can... Oh, what were you saying?
It actually didn't look too bad when like the Night Stalker's Darkness ran out. It wasn't quite off cooldown, and that was like their one chance around the Roche pit, but Sven just killed the Aegis, Roche too quickly and got the Aegis, so like their one little window, they had to go on it like the second it was available, and that's very hard to do. Now they lose their axe because of it, and Sven gets his AC, they still maintain Aegis, I believe, unless
they ate the cheese.
Yeah,
Sven ate the cheese. But what do you do here if you are Bowden United? You're obviously on the back foot now. Your carries don't scale as hard as a Sven. You really don't have someone on your team. I mean, you can talk about Divine Rapier on the Gyrocopter, but it's not a super common pickup, and he does not have the gold for it unless he's stashing that somewhere else. So do you try to split push? Do you just try to get a favorable smoke, or wait for mistakes from Empire?
Definitely can't smoke in nighttime. That's gonna end badly for you. I think the way they get back into this game right now is get a gem, get much farm as you can while playing extremely safe. Set your lane behind one of the cores, Earth Spirit behind the other, and then Prophet can kind of fend for himself and try to go later. Right now, you're not beating the Sven with an Aegis in a fight, and the Invoker's just king right now. He has Refresher, he has Blink, has the Ravage Blast, so they're not winning a fight right now. They need to get to the point where Quap has Hex and Refresher, Rise has like Satanic, and for MKB or Divine, and maybe even a refresher on the Nature's Prophet or some more right-click items like an AC or something, and just hope to God that they can outplay them later.
I do not know, though, if they can hold out for that long. The push is coming, and a Sonic Wave isn't going to deter this Sven.
No, but I think that's their only way, and as unlikely as it is, they have the ability to kind of cut the waves with the pop. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to do it. They got to the base
Oh
first.
gosh, and now they've got her in that lasso. There's gonna be a cooldown, but again, KNO taking a lot of damage, gets the Yules up. Maybe she'll be able to do something out of this. There is a lot of damage coming out. They've killed off the bench. Can they catch out Aloha Dance as well? He, of course, does have that Aegis, but killing him once, that's something. They've managed to take out Havost as well. Buyback immediately coming out of the co-op. She does not have another Sonic Wave, so she's just coming back in hopes of doing something about Aloha Dance, but no, a huge deafening blast protecting him. FN keeping them all alive. Aloha Dance trying to run around and find someone to hit, though. Oh no, now FN refreshes. There's going to be another one of all of this toolkit. Big deafening blast, and now suddenly Aloha Dance, he is nightmared up. Can he find anyone? EMP not going to do much to Arise since he already has no mana. There's going to be a smash on through. Arise does fall to FN. Funnick on the backlines has come back into this fight. Sunstrike not going to hit, but it doesn't matter. They are down 4. And they only have buybacks on 2. We're going to be seeing those come out. Maybe Nature's Prophet has to buy out. There's no other hope but Arise. He's Stormhammered, taking a lot of damage. More 600 damage crits coming out, and he cannot win this man fight. He may have killed off the Batrider, but it doesn't matter. And now we're going to be seeing them chase further forwards. They'll just take the racks and be done with it. Oh no, the Nature's Prophet came forwards, and he's dead.
And that will be the game. As horribly as that fight started for Empire, and as well as the Earth Spirit did it, like silencing the Invoker when the combo was about to come out and he didn't really want to blow his refresher, they still just weren't able to win the fight after they missed their window. And I've got to be honest, they didn't do anything blatantly wrong when they had their window, they just weren't quite able to breach the base. Maybe it's a few item choices here or there they could have done a bit better with, but I guess just props to Empire at the end of the day, drafting for what they're comfortable dealing with and knowing they could take it late.
Yeah, this is not the first time we've seen them pull out this strategy where they're really far down in the beginning and then manage to make it back. Good game to both teams. I actually think Bowden United played really well, and as you said, just the push timing wasn't quite there. Either way, folks, we'll get you into that game too right quick. I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by PQMZ. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook as Llama Down Under. PQ doesn't social media, but since we both would love all the feedback on how to make the casting more enjoyable for you, hit me up with feedback for him too. So we'll get you into game 2. Please enjoy the wait.